The Secret of the Whisper, a Sufi guide to intuition, inner wisdom, and the voice of the heart. Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to Sufi Essence. In a world filled with noise, the endless chatter of social media, the constant demands of our jobs, and the relentless clamor of our own thoughts, we are often a captive audience to distraction. We have become accustomed to looking for answers on our phones, in books, and from others. But we have forgotten to listen to the most important voice of all, the one that whispers from within. We all have moments where we get a gut feeling, a powerful sense of knowing that defies logic. But how often do we actually listen to it? Today, we will embark on a profound journey into the spiritual discipline of listening to this inner voice. We will explore the Sufi concept of Ilham, or divine inspiration, and the role of the heart Qalb as the primary organ of this sacred perception. We will discover that this whisper is not a random thought, but a source of inner wisdom, a direct connection to the divine. We will also bridge this timeless spiritual wisdom with the cutting-edge discoveries of neuroscience, which are now confirming that intuition is a real and powerful form of intelligence. This is a lecture on how to quiet the mind so you can finally hear the voice of the heart, and in doing so, to unlock the secret of your own profound purpose. Part 1. The Inner GPS. Intuition versus the ego's noise. To begin our journey, we must first learn to distinguish between the voice of the heart and the noise of the ego. The ego, or nafs, is the primary source of our internal chaos. It is the voice of fear, of anxiety, of desire, and of judgment. It is loud, it is demanding, and it is a master storyteller, constantly weaving narratives of regret about the past and worry about the future. It lives in a state of reaction, constantly responding to external stimuli and its own internal fears. The ego's voice is frantic, confused, and often contradictory. It will tell you to stay in your comfort zone, to choose what is safe, and to avoid any path that involves risk or uncertainty. The voice of the heart, on the other hand, is completely different. It is a subtle, peaceful, and consistent whisper. It does not demand attention. It waits for silence. It is not driven by fear or desire. It is guided by a profound sense of truth and love. The Sufi masters taught that the heart is the spiritual locus of our being, the place where our soul connects to the divine. This voice is our inner compass, our spiritual GPS, constantly guiding us toward our highest good and our divine purpose. The challenge in our modern world is that the ego's noise is so loud that it drowns out the heart's whisper. We have trained ourselves to listen to the frantic chatter of the mind, and we have forgotten how to hear the quiet wisdom of the heart. The spiritual path is a path of unlearning this bad habit. It is a path of consciously choosing to turn down the volume of the ego so that we can finally hear the secret of the whisper. Part 2. The Neuroscience of Intuition. Now, let us turn to the fascinating discoveries of modern neuroscience, which are providing a scientific basis for what the Sufis have known for centuries. For a long time, scientists viewed intuition as a kind of magical or unprovable concept. But today, they are beginning to understand it as a real and powerful form of intelligence. Neuroscience defines intuition as a form of rapid, non-conscious pattern recognition. It is the brain's ability to take in a vast amount of information from our senses, our memories, and our subconscious, and to quickly arrive at a conclusion without the slow, deliberate process of rational thought. It is often described as a gut feeling because it is processed not just in the brain, but in a profound connection between the brain, the heart, and the gut. The heart, in fact, has its own nervous system, which is a complex network of neurons, neurotransmitters, and proteins. This heart-brain communicates directly with the cranial brain, and its signals often have a powerful effect on our emotions and our perception of reality. This scientific understanding of the heart's role in intuition gives a powerful physiological basis to the Sufi idea of the heart as the center of divine perception. The whisper is not just a poetic metaphor. It is a real and tangible signal that is being sent from a deeper, more profound part of our being. This signal is often a more reliable guide than the frantic and chaotic thoughts of the rational mind. Part 3. the Sufi heart as the organ of perception in Sufi metaphysics. The heart Qalb is not just a biological organ. It is the spiritual center of our consciousness. It is the seat of faith, of divine love, and of spiritual perception. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Verily, there is in the body a piece of flesh, which if it is sound, the whole body is sound, and if it is corrupt, the whole body is corrupt." Indeed, it is the heart. The heart is the spiritual locus where we connect with Allah, and it is the recipient of Ilham, or divine inspiration. Ilham is a key concept in Sufi thought. It is not the same as revelation Y, which was reserved for the prophets. Ilham is a form of direct inspired knowledge that comes from Allah to the heart of a sincere seeker. It is a subtle and peaceful inner knowing that bypasses the rational mind and provides a profound insight into a situation or a truth. This is the whisper we are talking about. It is a direct and unfiltered message from the divine. It is a gift to those whose hearts have been purified and opened. The Sufi masters taught that the heart can become clouded by the passions of the ego, by attachment to worldly things, and by the darkness of sin. The spiritual path is the process of polishing this heart, of removing the rust so that it can once again become a clear mirror that reflects the divine light. When the heart is clean, it is able to receive the subtle, peaceful whisper of Ilham with clarity and certainty. The heart is the ultimate organ of perception, and the purification of the heart is the only way to truly hear the whisper. Part 4. The practice of silence and solitude. So, how do we begin to hear this divine whisper in our own lives? The first and most crucial step is to create a space for it to enter. The whisper is subtle and peaceful. It cannot be heard in the midst of noise and chaos. The Sufi masters prescribed a practice called Qalb, or spiritual seclusion. This does not mean that we have to retreat to a cave in the desert, but that we must deliberately and consistently create moments of solitude and inner silence in our daily lives. This can be as simple as taking 5 minutes in the morning to sit in quiet contemplation before our day begins. It can be a walk in nature where we leave our phone behind and simply listen to the sounds of the world and the stillness of our own hearts. The purpose of Qalb is to create a gap between our external reality and our internal state, is to give the heart a chance to speak without the constant interruption of the ego's noise. During these moments of silence, we practice a form of spiritual listening. We're not actively thinking or trying to solve a problem. We are simply being present, waiting with an open and receptive heart. In these moments of silence, the divine whisper has a chance to come through. It may not come in the form of a voice, but in the form of a peaceful knowing, a sudden insight, or a feeling of deep clarity. The practice of solitude and silence is a sacred discipline that is essential for anyone who wishes to unlock the secret of the whisper. Part 5. The voice of the heart. Recognition and trust once we have created the space for the whisper to enter. The next challenge is to recognize it and to trust it. The whisper of the heart often feels different from the thoughts of the mind. It does not come with a feeling of anxiety or a sense of urgency. It comes with a feeling of deep peace and certainty. The whispers of the ego are often accompanied by a feeling of fear, doubt, and chaos. The whisper of the heart is always accompanied by a feeling of peace and clarity. The Sufi masters taught that we must learn to trust this voice, even when it goes against our rational fears or the expectations of others. The ego is rational. It wants to do what is safe, what is familiar, and what will lead to a predictable outcome. The heart, on the other hand, is intuitive. It often wants us to take a leap of faith, to choose the path of love and truth, even when it is a path of uncertainty. To trust the whisper is to trust in Allah, to trust that the path the heart is guiding us on is the right path, even if we cannot see the destination. This is a practice that takes courage and faith. It requires us to move beyond our own fear and to act from a place of trust. But as we begin to listen to and act on the whisper, we will find that our lives begin to unfold in a way that is far more beautiful, more purposeful, and more aligned with our true nature than we could have ever planned. Part 6. From Whisper to Purpose, a life guided by the heart. The ultimate purpose of learning to hear the whisper is not just to gain personal insight, but to live a life that is guided by a deeper, more profound wisdom. A life guided by the whisper is a life of purpose, where our actions are aligned with our inner truth and our divine destiny. When we are guided by the voice of the heart, we no longer have to struggle to find our purpose. Our purpose finds us. The awakened heart is a heart that is no longer a slave to the ego's desires and fears. It is a heart that has been set free to love, to serve, and to create. The whisper will guide you to the people you are meant to help, to the work you are meant to do, and to the path you are meant to walk. It is a living, breathing compass that is always pointing us toward our highest good. This is the state of a Qutb, or a spiritual pole, in Sufi tradition. A Qutb is a person who has so completely purified their heart that they are a clear vessel for divine inspiration. They do not act from their own ego, but from a profound connection to the divine. While we may not all reach this state, we can all begin to walk this path. To begin the process of purifying our hearts and listening to the sacred voice within. Part 7. Conclusion. In a world that is so loud, the most revolutionary act we can perform is to be still and to listen. The secret of the whisper is not a complex mystery. It is a simple and profound truth. Our heart is the spiritual locus of our being, and it is a direct connection to the divine. In this lecture, we have explored how to distinguish between the ego's noise and the heart's whisper, the scientific basis of intuition and the heart's role in it, the Sufi concept of Ilham and the heart as the organ of perception, the practice of Qalb, or inner silence, as a way to hear the whisper, the importance of trusting this voice, even when it goes against our fears, the ultimate purpose of a life guided by the whisper, to live a life of meaning and purpose. The journey to hear the whisper is a journey to hear your own heart. And in hearing your own heart, to hear the voice of your Creator. May Allah grant us all the grace to quiet our minds and to listen to the sacred whisper within. Watch, reflect, and share. Subscribe to our channel for more beneficial content.